guys are in the kitchen with Kellyanne. I'm cooking, and I have something that I want to talk to you about as far as living without regrets. And I figured I would do it in the time that I finish my meal. What you may not know about me is I like to cook. That's that. So, chicken marsala tonight. It's on the menu. Listen, I want to talk about living life with no regrets. Living life with no regrets. I mean, here we are, we're at the beginning of the new year, right? Everybody's starting something. It feels like a new beginning, which really every day is a new beginning. Okay, so I'm putting in marsala lime. I used to, when I finished holistic nutrition school, I used to pretend I was on a cooking show. So that was before all this Facebook Live stuff. I popped on because this has been streaming through my consciousness for a couple of days now, since actually the 2nd of January. I woke up and I was tapping into the collective energy, just tuning in to see, you know, what's going on, what's in the vibration, what's the collective energy feeling. And this instant feeling of panic came over me, as if I had forgotten something on the stove, or I don't know, left the car running in the garage, or left a kid somewhere, right? It's like this panic of like, oh my God, I forgot something. And that's what I was picking up on the collective, that there was this sense of, oh my God, like, did I not do that thing that I've been wanting to do? Right? So we're talking about living life with no regrets. So thinking about, you know, what have you been saying that you've been wanting to do for how long? I mean, how long are you going to put off these dreams, desires, experiences that you want to create for yourself? And so as I continue to feel into that energy, I was being reminded of this time. I was 18 years old. Hey, Angelo. I was 18 years old, and I was on an air flight. I was on a plane to a destination wedding in Florida with my friend. It was her college roommate. I was 18. They were having, I already said that, but they were having this whole weekend where they were renting a bus and they were bar hopping. I only got carded once in 5 days in Florida, so that was funny. I'm sitting on this airplane, and I'm having this is, you know, on the way to my trip. Hey, Gianna. On the way to my trip. Hey, Mary. And I just remember sitting in that airplane and just feeling so afraid to die. Feeling so afraid that if this plane crashes and I die, I just was feeling this massive, massive amount of fear. And I had been living this life of survival, really. I had this life event happen when I was 15, and I didn't really get the support that I needed. And so I had to manage all of this stuff that was going on my own. I know by the time I was 17, my mother was very much forcibly asking me to leave the house and not to reach out to family and not to bring anything with me unless I bought it myself. And so I packed, at 17, I packed a plastic laundry basket in the back of my car, and I drove. I didn't know where to go. And this was before cell phones. This is before, you know, anything. I'd still remembered my friend's phone number in my head. And so I just remember sitting in a parking lot and just like, what the fuck? And I ended up at a hotel. It was $25 a night, and I got into the room, and I remember turning all the lights on, sleeping in the center of the bed on top of the covers, which I don't even know, maybe that's grosser, but cockroaches everywhere. I mean, even on the nightstand. And so I made it through this night, and I had asked a friend, hey, can I live with your family? And her stepdad drove by the hotel or the motel or the sleazy tell and was like, yeah, like have her come over right away. So I ended up being able to stay with my friend, and then that's who I was going on this trip to Florida with, sitting on the airplane, feeling so afraid to die because I felt like I wasn't living the life that I was meant to be living. I just, on the surface, I was getting by. I had friends. I worked, obviously. But inside of me I was separated. And so when I felt into that energy the beginning of this year on January 2nd, that feeling of like, almost like take your breath away, I was just reminded of that time. And what happened was there was always something driving me underneath. There was always something within that was carrying me forward, that knew there was something more for me. That at a very young age, I learned about survival and taking care of myself and pretty much not depending on anybody. Like just knowing that I couldn't depend on anybody. And that's a big part of who actually got me to where I am today, as far as the accomplishments I have made and finishing college and, opening up my own business and going on advanced teachings and learnings and degrees and certifications and buying a home on my own. So there was always something inside of me that wanted to come through, that was fighting and kicking and screaming. And, I kept showing up for myself. But at a very young age, I learned that I could only depend on myself. Oh God, is this super shaky? And so it took me a while. I learned a lot of what I know all on my own, healed a lot on my own. And only later in my life did I start to open up to get help and support. And that because of the support, because of the people that have seen me for who I am and gave me the support and the guidance to have me keep going. I've made a lot of hard decisions in my life, and it took a lot of courage. And courage isn't easy to come by, because I know it is so much easier and simpler to hang with the status quo and not, shake up any internal waves. But if you can feel that there's something more that's wanting to come through you, it's time. Thinking about myself is, just this afternoon on my feed, a friend was posting about, it's the anniversary of her friend's death by suicide. And, she did this beautiful post about others in her life and the impact that it's had on them taking their own lives. And, just about a month ago, a friend of mine, the day I did a talk on depression and anxiety, and I was feeling that energy, and that's why it showed up. And then a couple days later, I found out that he ended his life. And it's really been prominent in my life in the last few years. And, seeing these leaders and these teachers and these sensitive ones and artists being so debilitated by some of this internal and external stuff. And in my experiences, those that have passed, I have been in contact with them on the other side, and I feel even more connected in some ways with them. And I feel their support to continue to move forward. I know I have a message inside me. I know that I'm here to support people. I know that the transformation that is available is like possible, and I am the bridge to help people get there, feeling emotionally empowered, to feel in touch with their magic, to let go of the bullshit stories that mind fuck, to really step into your power and be that co-creator of your experience, because you're already co-creating it right now. But we've been using it. I caught myself having this inner conversation about limitation back and forth in my mind. I was fighting for my own limitation, but I'm aware of it, and then I know what to do. But that's where, if we're already manifesting, right? You are. But are you doing it from a space of your limitation, from your fear, from a lack vibration, from self-doubt, from insecurity, from fear of abandonment, fear of being seen? It's time to do the 180, to take the turn, to click a few notches just take a little turn and lock in to the truth of who you are. And so living life with no regrets, not letting anything hold you back, knowing that if it's within you, you have the desire, it's totally possible. So if this year is for you is about love, relationship, that business, you know, a healthier body, you know, tapping more into your artistry, to being the fuller expression, then let's do it. If not me, get support. I know it's so challenging to get support, but listen, you can't hide from yourself anymore. You can't. And I shine the light so that you can see who you are within you. Yeah. If you've got something knocking on your internal doorway, something that you know that you are holding yourself back from, that you know you're in your own way, that you really are so ready to just own this life that you're in, I've got space for 5 new clients. And like I said, if it's not me, then find support. Oh, and by the way, I work with men and women. And with my intuition, it's like I can tap into where those blind spots are and guide you to unveiling them for yourself. What we're most afraid of is our power, our brilliance, our amazingness. Because, you know, who the fuck are you to be awesome? You. And that's this whole paradigm is changing. Okay, we're all meeting our authentic selves. We're all coming together. And when we're avoiding that peace, it's suffering. We feel it. We feel it in our bodies. We feel it in our health. We feel it in our bank account. We feel it in our relationships. Yeah. Okay. So message me here or watch some of my videos and really just make yourself a priority this year and be determined to be, you know, courageous, to be unabashedly yourself, to unleash all that's within you, to unfuck your mind, to claim your power. Thank you for the love heart showers. So listen, I'm just going to show everybody my chicken marsala is almost done. If you missed it, I do like to cook. I do like to eat. So just essentially listen to that inner voice. Not your head,